What are you doing? How was your day at school? What's wrong?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad we got to talk. Do you never know if we get to talk? I,
Today we went on a field trip.
huh?
Today we went on a field trip.
Your dad did?
No.
Oh, today you went on a field trip. I thought you said something else. Tell me about your field trip.
We went to like a thing where you listen to music and we learned about like patterns and stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah. And we learned about instruments.
Well, I love hearing about your day, but you know what I'd like to give you? Is a nice big hug. Just a calming, quiet hug where I'm holding you and I'm sending you my love. And you feel me and you feel my warmth. You feel me holding you closely and telling you I love you and I miss you, baby. I miss you so much. I love you so much, honey. I'm giving you a big hug and I'm holding you and I'm smiling at you and I'm proud of you. I wish we were able to see each other. What are you told about why we don't see each other? You don't get told anything?
Today we did hip hop.
Right, I understand. You have to stay on focus, otherwise the phone will get taken from you. Well, so tell me about hip hop.
We were gonna dance today.
I swear to God. Tell me about your dance. Tell me about the new dance. Tell me about the new dance. We're hostages.
Jumping it's about like a teacher made it called. So
Yeah, that's cool. What did you do in school today? Did you have any tests?
no, because we were on a field trip.
Oh, the whole day.
We came back and then we had lunch, recess, we packed up and then we had to go there.
Nice. Nice. Have you had dinner yet? I feel like a hostage.
Huh?
Have you had dinner yet?
Oh no, they're cooking it right now.
Okay. How's everything going?
Good.
Yeah.
We're doing the talent show on February 24th. February 23rd. Me and my friends.
Oh, wow. How exciting, honey. I'm so proud of you. I wish I could be there. Yeah. Hey, baby, guess what? I was thinking about today. Because it was so sunny outside and beautiful and blue and like warm. And I was thinking about when we would go to the pool, you know, we'd go swimming in the nice, fresh, cold water and lay out in the sun and just laugh and have watermelon at the pool. Remember those days?
Yeah.
Those were fun, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you able to sit down on the couch or are you like having to stand up right next to your dad with the phone?
No, I'm sitting down on the couch just relaxing.
Okay. Well, ask your dad if we can Skype each other.
Huh?
Ask your dad if we can Skype. You know, see each other face to face.
Maybe, yeah, maybe, like, on Friday or something.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like it's different time. But,
Right.
yeah, we can probably do that maybe on Friday.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. You'd think we'd get around to it sometime. Hey, honey, guess what? I love you more than anything in the whole entire world. And guess what else? I love you till the end of time. And I have one focus and one focus only, and that is you, baby girl. You.
Okay. Love you.
I love you, Alexandria. Hang in there. I love you, baby girl. I love you. I love you. Have a good night, baby girl. I love you. Bye, baby. Stay strong. I will. Oh, believe me, I will. See? Demonstration. Harassment. It's 6:30, so he's hoping maybe I'll miss the phone call, even though I never get the phone calls. He's only been calling me the last couple weeks because he knows that he sent me a document that's talking about court matters. The court matters being going no contact. So does it sound like my daughter doesn't want to talk to me? So now this is just violence being perpetrated by a career criminal. And I was going to record my submission, and let's start with that. Today is the 30th of January. On October 25th, 2016, my life forever changed, and my daughter's life forever changed. But let me take a deep breath and start the story a little differently. Summertime, 2016. Days are beautiful. We're spending time at the pool, having watermelon. We lived on a cul-de-sac in beautiful Thousand Oaks, California. Had a condo we had been at for 5 years. I had a new car, was starting a business. She was in one of the top schools in the state. She'd been going to the same school with the same neighborhood friends since she was 2 years old. I'm a single mother, and I've provided everything for my daughter proudly, happily. I never kept him out, never told him no, never pushed him away, never said his family couldn't see, didn't do it. I was amicable, flexible, and considerate. So, short of hell freezing over, you're not going to get me to have conducted myself in a manner that would give up custody or give up custody. So there's no reason underneath the sun that I should lose custody. Because if, let's just say CPS wanted to take the custody from me, that would be because of things that were going on that were inappropriate, which would mean they would tell me, we don't think that you're doing this right. And so therefore we want you to do this to fix it. And if you don't do this, then we'll take your kid. And you get notice, and then you get opportunity, and if you don't. See, that's the way that the CPS does it. So, but all of a sudden, the courts want to let some stranger, sperm donor, who barely came around, who literally is a career criminal, who suffers from mental disturbance, and had proven to me since the beginning of knowing him that he had some weird thing with children, had some issues of his mind. And he would call police and accuse me of things that he had done. Look, I've never dealt with a crazy person before, but I knew that I was dealing with somebody that I didn't want to push buttons of. Okay? So needless to say, when he decided to get a nice bug up his butt that he was going to try to commit more domestic violence against me, it's power and control and to ruin my life. That's what they want to do. Don't ask me why. So he decided to get it all up in his mind that he was going to take custody and harass me. So he abducted her in 2014. I had just beat cancer and nearly started chemotherapy. Okay, I had just been through a medical trauma, and so I took myself to a place where I could heal and get some spiritual healing because I had taken a leave of absence from work, and they just want to give you a psychiatrist and medication. This was something I chose to do for myself. And what does he do? He creates lies, false allegations, steals my child, and keeps her concealed for 34 days at the age of 5, traumatizing her, okay? This was not appropriate. I had to take him to court to get my daughter back, which I did. But since then, when the mediation started, Dina Marshall actually failed her duties, failed having any kind of training, failed assessing the circumstances, failed assessing the history, failed assessing his criminal record, failed assessing domestic violence, failed assessing her best interests, and failed assessing safety. And she forced us into joint custody, telling me if I was not going to sign that order that she recommended, and I was going to argue with the judge, that he was going to make it worse on me. So she threatened me. And what did I do for the next 3 years? I had to comply with their orders. I did it. I took my parenting class. I did everything they asked me to do. I made her go every 2 weeks and said, sweetie, it's just a couple days, because she didn't want to go. She was scared she was never going to get turned back to me. I brought him back to court 3 times to bring it right back to Dina Marshall, because apparently she's the one who's supposed to do something. It's the most frustrating thing I ever had to deal with. No, I didn't think there was any other way to go about doing it, but she didn't do her job. And in fact, less than 6 months prior to the day that my life changed forever, I was in court telling her, excuse me, we need to change the custody. Something's going on. Because one beautiful day that summer, one beautiful day, Alec is playing outside with her friends. I'm folding laundry inside. The next morning comes to go to school, and I'm getting her dressed from her shower, and I see these bruises on her side. I'm like, what is that? She said, oh, I got knocked over yesterday. The boy on the bike ran into me. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you come and tell me? She goes, it didn't hurt. I didn't think I was hurt. I'm like, baby, you're bruised from here to here. Oh my God, what happened? And she said, I was on the sidewalk. The boy was riding his bike towards me. We both went this way. We both went that way. And he went the same way I did. And he knocked me over. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That kid shouldn't be riding his bike on a sidewalk. There's a cul-de-sac right here. And I had an inkling that that was suspicious because I said to myself, you know what? Something is up. Because Alexandria also came home that summer with a lesion on her lip. And I said, where did that come from? I go, do you get to drink from your own cup at your dad's house? She said, no, I have to drink from Jessica's bottle. I'm like, what? His girlfriend? You have to drink from her bottle of water? You don't get your own bottle of water? She said, no. I go, what's up with that? Long story short, I took her to the doctor, had the doctor test it. The doctor goes, why do you want to test it? I'm like, that's weird. You're a doctor, just test it. She called me and said that, see, I told you that it was nothing. And then I get a call from the lab saying, well, in fact, it did come back with a small virus. The doctor? Okay, now something's really up. And she came home that summertime with a black eye. And when she got there, I go, baby girl. He goes, you want me to tell her what happened? I go, okay. And he goes, she bumped her nose while swimming. I'm like, why didn't you call me? Because I had it under control. Tanya, his sister's wife, is a doctor, and she checked it out and made sure it was fine. I said, that's not, you're supposed to call me anyway. How come you didn't call me? Whatever, he drives off. And I took her to the doctor for that as well. This is what I had done. And when that happened, when she got bumped over by the bike, I took her to the doctor as well. I took her to the doctor every single time. And then I started talking to the teacher, her principal. I told the sheriffs. I talked to CPS. I talked to the Department of Justice. And I was in court the day before, October 25th, which was actually, a Tuesday. I was there the Thursday prior to file a freaking ex parte. And I brought a box of drawings and information that I had to go over that was overwhelming me. And they bullied me. They said, we can't understand you. And I'm like, I need help. I need to figure out what's going on. They're like, man, if you don't stop crying, we're going to have you leave. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, so what's the problem? I'm like, and things are escalating. They're like, okay. I'm like, listen, he's a criminal. They're like, so, they basically argued me on everything. Finally, I got to write the thing. And lunchtime comes and I hand it in and they go, he's not going to be able to read this. They're not going to file this. I'm like, oh my God. I left there crying. I was going to write it and I was going to file it. But the next day was no school. Or it was the day, yes, she did go to school the next day and he was supposed to pick her up that day. She didn't want to go. And I said to him, if you're going to pick her up, you're going to bring a sheriff here because she doesn't want to go. And you're going to tell the sheriff why you expect her to go because I'm not going to lose custody telling you no all by myself. And he did. He brought a sheriff and Alec told him, Daddy, I don't want to go. I don't feel safe with Jessica. And he goes, come on, it's okay. Your mother told you to say that, didn't she? Your mother told you to say that, didn't she? She told me, Mom, I was so brave. I told Dad, no, she didn't. I don't want to go to I don't feel comfortable around Jessica. Your mother told you to say that, didn't she? Your mother told you to say that. So we ended up leaving, right? That was Friday. Well, I didn't end up filing the document. And so on Monday morning, I'm on the way to the courthouse to file my document. What do? I get a phone call. Hey, you have an ex parte for tomorrow morning. Okay. I have no reason to believe that it's going to go down in any weird way. It's a $495 filing fee. I'm figuring someone's going to file what am I going to do? File it also? It's filed. I'll see them there tomorrow. And what do? I show up with a big box of information and I get handed a document that's signed before the judge even calls the court to order at 1:30 in the afternoon. I go, I need to talk to the judge. I told him, and I have the transcript. I contest this 100%. I didn't even get to read through the whole thing. The judge was biased. The judge was out of line and he signed the order and said, you'll have your day in court. What? That fast? My daughter's never going to come home again? Never going to come home again? She's never came home again. And this man doesn't want me to talk to her about love. He doesn't want her to talk about coming home. He is disturbed in the mind. He is a professional criminal. Now, don't misunderstand my anger. I have every right to be angry because not only did I have to litigate against a court that was never going to do what they were supposed to do. They lost jurisdiction. These are void orders on their face. The police in his jurisdiction never helped. The police in my jurisdiction never helped. He sent in some criminal associate to stalk me and to mess with me and to commit violence against me, that I would end up calling the police in my jurisdiction of Thousand Oaks 12 times and they would not help me. One time, of course, 6 hours later, it was verbal abuse. I'm calling the police. I throw water on him because he says, you're never going to get your daughter back. I throw water on him and I admit it to the police and they arrest me for domestic violence. This is a tactical assault on me to try to get me to now get a criminal record so that way when I go, hey court, you need to really listen to my evidence. See, this guy's a bad guy. They'll go, you don't have any credibility, ma'am. You're a criminal. Okay? I am being assaulted by a professional criminal who wants to harm and steal children. Now, the fact that I have information that associates him with fraud, securities fraud, title fraud, identity fraud, credit fraud, that's neither here nor there. The fact that I have information that supports that he's got various alias names, possibly a second wife in Utah, and has a criminal record this long, armed robbery, police evasion, forgery, that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is that this court had no evidence to support his claim. Why did they take custody from you? He says neglect, abuse, and possible prostitution. That's great, and anybody can say anything, but I had her the whole entire time, 93% custody, the whole entire time. He was $5,000 back in child support. That had nothing to, she lived with me. There was no complaints by any mandated reporters. She was in school since she was 2, full time. I worked for a living, okay? The absence of any issues, police records, or complaints by any mandated reporters is evidence all by itself that this schmuck, who I never married, who doesn't have any standing in our life, and doesn't have the jurisdiction to come and take her, this isn't just a switching of custody, Your Honor. This is, you didn't even follow the rules that CPS would follow. And this guy's a stranger, and you let her get moved to Azusa, dirty, dirty gang town in Los Angeles. That fast. That's not acceptable. You violated our due process rights. You violated our human rights. You violated my parental rights. And now I have been violated, forced to lose everything because I litigated for a year thinking they must just need to get the right documentation. I must just be not filling it out right. No. And then once I finally lost everything, then the criminal assault happened. I have been harassed by the Ventura police and LA, San Dimas filed charges of me obstructing justice, violating a domestic violence restraining order. That's right. I tried to file one against him. They said, we're going to file one against you. What happens? The clerks don't file mine and they file his. Boom. It's all manipulated photographs, false allegations, and false testimony. None of it sticks. This guy's a criminal. He can't even contract. So how can a court do that? And why would a court do that? Only if it has something to gain. This appears to be some kind of form shopping by some criminal organization that is trying to figure out if they can pull off framing people, the innocent, and pull it off in court because it's just a slow, tactical, methodical thing. And eventually, 2 years later, boom, the dude gets the custody. Women are out of the picture, babies belong to them, and soon enough, the women will be gone and we won't have to deal with them anymore. We'll have pods to build our babies in, and if we want to be women, we can dress up like them. I mean, what is this? I'm feeling discriminated against. Everybody in the courthouse is Mexican with no disrespect intended, but I'm not kidding you. He's from El Salvador. He's a tall, handsome Mexican, and every single person in the courthouse is also, and they are loyal people, and they didn't treat me with an ounce of dignity, and that's not appropriate. So back to this court lost its jurisdiction. Why doesn't it represent its claim? Going no contact is prima facie evidence that this guy's got no proper intention. And I'm supposed to put up with my life being manslaughtered? I'm supposed to put up with my child still being violated? I didn't even mention to you the evidence that suggests he's involved in child sex exploitation, okay? I have enough information that requires to be investigated. And look what's going on in the politics, corruption, FBI, police, you can't trust anybody anymore. What's really going on? All I can say is that God's got my back and God is gonna make sure that I can protect my child and get her out of there and that I will survive this somehow, some way. But this court has an obligation to act, and I'm moving it into a proper forum where I can prosecute these crimes and prosecute these damages and get proper recognition of that void order and the abuse of authority that has now become a continuing crime, now over 2 years. But this is 10 years of domestic violence in the making. My record's been ruined. Now I've got warrants for my arrest. I can't get a job. This is methodical manslaughter by criminals. Your actions will speak louder than your words, just like his. I pray you do the right thing. Because everyone's going to come under fire. I will make noise. And I want justice. Please help me in Alexandria. Please cease and desist this domestic violence and child abuse. I rescind my signature. I rescind my consent.